Hi, my name is Brian Bietz, and I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to respond to the question, what would you like to say in Paris about climate change? By way of background, I'm a native Calgarian, a biologist by training with a PhD in ecology, and I've spent my entire professional career in the environmental sciences. As you might expect, I have some personal views on climate change, and I'm always willing to talk about those. Today, though, I want to take a slightly different tack in my remarks. First, let me start by saying it really is a great question. Our individual answers will, to a large extent, set out what we personally are willing to do to address climate change. And to the degree there is commonality in our answers, they should significantly help government identify the actions the majority of Albertans are prepared to support, and, if necessary, the sacrifices that we are willing to make to achieve those goals. However, I'm also going to suggest to you today that while understanding ourselves and our appetite for tackling this issue is incredibly important, it's not enough if our ultimate goal is to be something more than a minor footnote in Paris and beyond. I'd suggest that in order to have an impact on the global stage, there is a second, closely related, and equally, if not more important question that we need to ask. And that question is quite simply, what do we want others to say about Albertans in Paris? So why is this question so important? Why should we even care what others think about us? The sad reality is that even if all Albertans went to Paris with a single coherent voice, that voice would likely still carry very little weight. This is not because your views aren't valid, but because as a group already well known for making its living producing carbon-intensive fuels, Albertans' views on climate change will always tend to be highly discounted. Don't believe me? Then take this test for yourself. Honestly ask yourself just how much credence you would give the views of a group of Saudis, Venezuelans, or Texans on climate change. If your answer is that you likely would tend to seriously discount their opinions simply because of the way they make their living, it's hard to, then why should we feel the world will view Albertans differently? I'd like to suggest that if we want to have an impact on the climate change debate, somehow